Welcome to Health Club with Julia. I'm your host, health coach, and registered dietitian, Julia Campagna. I'm on a mission to bridge the gap between looking your best and living your life to the fullest. After years of over dieting, struggling with disordered eating, and destroying my social life, I finally found how to reach my dream physique without sacrificing the things I love. Now I'm sharing all my strategies and education with you. We'll be talking all things health, including hormones, metabolism, and lifestyle to help you cut out the confusion and start living. So get cozy and join the club. Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Health Club with Julia podcast. As always, so happy you are here. I want to talk today about daily and weekly habits. I love talking about this because I feel like a lot of people don't realize what they are doing or not doing that they should be. And it kind of brings light to that. So I just want to talk about my experience and what I'm doing on a daily and weekly basis, specifically for hormone health as a hormone health dietitian, things that I prioritize, things that I don't like to miss out on, and that I kind of make almost as a non-negotiable for myself that helps me with my hormone health. At this point, I just got labs done, I want to say a couple weeks ago in October. Is now November, so I think it was early October if I'm not mistaken, or mid-September. Anyway, it was a few weeks ago, and I got my lab results back and everything was like A+. Like, my doctor was like, "You are the image of health," and I was like, "Thank you." That makes me feel really good. One, because I know that my health is up to par. Like, obviously I want everybody's health to be up to par and like you be a healthy individual, so I'm happy that I'm a healthy individual. But I also do so many things to work on my health, and things that are now just kind of subconscious, honestly. Like, I'm not even thinking about doing XYZ because I just do it naturally. But it's just really reassuring that what I am doing is obviously helping, because everything was great. The only thing was that my vitamin D was low end, which is very common for most people. Like, 90% of people are probably deficient in vitamin D, especially as we're going into winter months and you're not getting out in the sun as much. It's very common to see. That was my only thing though. And otherwise, like, sex hormones, great. He was like, everything is good. Everything looks good. You're doing great. And I was like, awesome. I love that. And so it kind of made me think about my daily and weekly habits and like my lifestyle and what I do to get to this point of health where everything is great, A++ results. We love that. So I want to share them with you, what I do on a daily and weekly basis to help me with my hormone health in general too, but I want to go over some hormone health specific things that help me just, be healthy. And hopefully this can kind of give light to you guys, and hopefully it highlights areas that you guys might want to improve in, and maybe you can get some ideas from this. But let's go through the daily ones first. So daily things that I do that help with my general health, but also my hormone health specifically. So number one, get outside in nature. Now, I will be honest with you. I put this in the daily section here because yes, I try to get outside at some point every single day, but I am also human and this doesn't always happen for me. One, if I've had like a really, really busy day at work and I'm just working all day long, I don't usually get outside. And also, especially now, it is now November, it gets dark at 4:30. 4:30, 4:45, it is pitch black here. So if I don't finish work until like 4:30, 5 o'clock, I ain't getting out there in the dark. I'm sorry, I'm afraid of animals out in the dark, and human species out in the dark don't really want to walk in the dark. So I would have to end work really, really early to get out there or go for an early walk, but I start work early, so sometimes it doesn't work out. So I'm just going to be honest with you right now, especially getting into these winter months. It's probably not going to happen every single day. If I don't get outside, I still try to go on a walk like on my treadmill, which I'll talk about here momentarily, but definitely in the summertime, I try to get outside every single solitary day. It boosts my serotonin. I feel so happy. I love the sunshine. I'm getting some vitamin D from the sun, and also just nature helps with so many things. So what I want to say with nature is that it does help with circadian rhythm, sunshine in general. So even if you can't get outside, if you can just sit by a window and get some morning sunlight in, get some evening sunlight in when it's like, sun is rising, sun is setting, around that time, that's even beneficial. It's obviously better if you can get outside, but sunlight helps with your circadian rhythm. We have what's called a sleep-wake cycle, and our body gets more alert or drowsy during certain times, obviously, morning, night, but this is partly due to this circadian rhythm or the sleep-wake cycle that we have. And to improve this sleep-wake cycle, getting outside in nature, especially during like dawn and dusk times, is super beneficial for resetting that and helping to keep that on track. So if you're somebody who has trouble sleeping, if you feel like you are really tired in the morning and then you go to bed and you're like awake and you're kind of wired at night, you might want to do this even more. This is especially important for you, but it does help to kind of like reset that sleep-wake cycle. So this does help with it, your cortisol levels. So managing your cortisol levels, we do have a natural cortisol curve where cortisol is highest in the morning when we wake up. That is to get us up, get us energized, get us out of bed, and then it does slowly drop down by the end of the day, where nighttime is lowest, and that is our signal to, okay, we need to go to bed. So it does help with cortisol levels. Getting out in sunlight, getting out in nature also does help decrease anxiety, which is obviously important for our sex hormones. Stress and anxiety does have a direct impact on our sex hormones, so that's super beneficial. So obviously, who likes to be anxious? No one. So getting outside nature does help with that. It also can increase your mood and increase your energy. Again, energy with sunlight especially, it's going to help boost that. So it does have a lot of benefits to getting out in nature. Just breathing in fresh air as well, like that's really great. So I do try to get outside in nature as much as I can. As the winter starts here soon, that's going to be a lot less, which I hate. This is part of the reason why I absolutely hate winter. And I always say this, I'd be so much happier if I lived somewhere warm, because I'd be able to go outside in the warmth, in the sunshine way more often instead of hibernating all winter like a bear. That is me. I hibernate all winter. I absolutely hate the cold. I feel pain when I'm in cold. And it's usually like kind of crappy out, gloomy, gray. Like there's not a lot of sunshine in the wintertime. It's just, I hate winter. So in wintertime, I will be honest, that definitely goes down, but I still will try to get outside at least a couple times during the week if I can. So that's number one. Second thing I do daily is watch my blood sugar and manage that and help with blood sugar balance. So ways that I do this is, number one, I analyze my meals. First thing, do I have any naked carbs? What I mean by naked carbs is just the carb itself. So do I have like just a pastry? Am I having like a cookie or a muffin or a scone or something like that? Am I having just a piece of toast? Am I having just pasta? Am I having a carb by itself? If I am, I like to then say, okay, I don't want any naked carbs. This is one of the big pieces for blood sugar balance. You don't want to just have carbs by itself. You want to pair that with either a protein, a fat, or a fiber source to help lessen that blood sugar spike and kind of level that out a bit more. So I always try to have one of those elements, if not more. Like I'll usually have a protein, a fat, and some sort of fiber with my carbs, but I generally try to have a balanced meal where I'm not just having a carb source by itself. So that's first thing with blood sugar balance. Also try to get in some movement after meals. Again, I'm human. Sometimes I eat my lunch while I'm working because I've had a busy day. But generally speaking, I like to eat meals and even just stand. It doesn't have to be like a full-on walk. Now, walking does help with blood sugar after meals. So if you can get up, get moving, go for a quick walk, even if it's like 5-10 minutes, just get some movement in post-meal. That will help level out your blood sugar so it's not as big of a spike. But even simply just like standing after a meal, just trying not to sit down after a meal, basically. So try to get some movement, even if it's really small, after a meal. And another thing I do is not skipping meals or skipping, primarily for all you ladies out there, breakfast. Skipping meals does impact your blood sugar. It can drop, you'll have a bigger spike. It can fluctuate more when you are skipping meals. So I definitely try to make sure I am not skipping any meals at all. I love breakfast. If I have like, even sometimes if I had a busy morning and I have breakfast later in the day, like 11 o'clock, I still need to have breakfast. I cannot skip breakfast. I can't. I love breakfast so much. I will never skip breakfast, even if it's later in the morning or like early afternoon for whatever reason. If that does happen to me, I need to have breakfast. So no skipping meals, no skipping breakfast, no just having coffee on an empty stomach and calling it a day. You need to have your meals and make sure that they are balanced with protein, carbs, fats, fiber, all the things. Third thing I do on a daily basis is stress management. And yes, I actually try to work on stress management. I'm not just saying like, oh, I work on stress management and then I do absolutely nothing. I feel like stress management is underrated and a lot of people don't actively try to work on their stress. But some things that I like to do, this is kind of more on a weekly basis, but having work-life balance. It's really important for me to have work-life balance. If I was to work all the time, 7 days a week, I'd be super, super stressed all the time. You need to have some sort of balance with your life as well to help manage stress. So like for me, and for a lot of people, weekends are usually off unless you work a job that you're not off on the weekends. But for me, I try to be. There are some weekends that I do get on to work because as a business owner, it's a lot. There's a lot that goes into it, and so sometimes I do have to work a little bit on the weekends, but I try to avoid that as much as possible. I will literally work if I have like something due that needs some revising, or like I didn't get to one thing during the week, then I'll do it on the weekend. But I really try to totally take off work, totally take off social media in general. Like part of my job is social media, not in the influencer way, but as the marketing way. Like my social media platform, my Instagram, is what I use to market myself, as well as like podcasts. So yes, sometimes I will be on there during the weekends, but even weekends, I would say more times than not, I don't even post on the weekends. I'm really not on my phone. I try to just like kind of disconnect as much as I can on the weekends. So yeah, number one with stress management is having work-life balance. Number two with this is taking time for myself on a daily basis. And yes, I do this every single day. Something, whether that's reading. I love to read in bed at night before I go to sleep. This is a really, really great stress reliever for me. I just kind of get lost in a book, and also I do it at the end of the day so that I'm kind of relieving any tension and stress from that day. So I just like get lost in a book, find a really good book and sit down, read it. It also helps me get better sleep. But I love reading. It's a really, really great stress reliever for me. So I either read or I will go for a walk. Again, as I mentioned, as we're getting into winter months, it's going to be a little bit harder. But I will even walk on a treadmill in the morning or in the afternoon if I, one, need to get my steps up, and two, if I just need some stress relief. And like walking is really great for improved anxiety, releasing some tension, releasing some stress, releasing energy as well. So walking is a really good one. And sometimes I simply just sit with my thoughts. Like I really don't ever turn on the TV. I'm not somebody to I work from home, but like finish work and turn on the TV. I literally won't. My fiance will come home from work and I'll be sitting on the couch and it will just be silent. Like I don't turn on the TV and he'll come in and turn on the TV. Like I really don't do that unless I am, I don't know, like by myself. If my fiance isn't home one night, I might turn on the TV just to watch a show and just kind of like get lost in that. But sometimes I simply just sit there with my thoughts, and that sometimes is really great stress relief. Sometimes that can cause more stress if I'm thinking about something stressful, but sometimes I just kind of sit there and I think about my thoughts, and I'm just with myself, and being with myself is usually a stress relief for me. So that's a really good one as well. But there's a lot of different things that you can do. You can do some yoga. You can listen to calming music. I love to also dim the lights, light candles. One of my favorite things to do. And that immediately, like stress goes away when I light candles and I turn off the lights and I put on some calming music. Love that. So there's a million things that you can do, but I definitely do take time for myself every single day. Literally every single day I am doing something for myself for stress management, and it's definitely made a really, really big help in my life. So that's one that is huge for me. Another thing I do on the daily is prioritize movement, and be careful with this one because you don't want to overtrain, you don't want to overdo it, but for my hormone health, I do want to prioritize movement. Again, some days that's a walk, some days that's going to the gym, some days it's a run. It really does change day to day, but there is something that I'm doing every single day for overall movement. And I try to, like I had mentioned before, get on walks, get some other movement in besides just going to the gym, because that's not a ton of movement. If you're just simply going to the gym and then you sit down the entire rest of the day until you go to bed, you're really not that active. And so I just try to be aware of that and try to still get up, get moving, even if I'm going to the gym. Just something light, just getting in steps, walking. Like I said, if I'm low on steps or I just feel like I haven't moved a lot, sometimes I'll go down to my apartment gym and just go on the treadmill and walk. Sometimes I walk and read, and that's a really good stress relief one as well. But I do prioritize movement, not in the overtraining sense. I definitely do not overtrain. I go to the gym 4 days a week, and other than that, I am either like walking or doing something pretty light. But you do want to prioritize movement in general for overall health, but also it does help improve your hormonal health as well. And last thing I do that I want to say that I do every single day is get in my fruits and vegetables. This is a non-negotiable for me. I get in at least 1 serving of both every day, but usually I'll have 2 servings of fruit and potentially 2 servings of vegetables. Some days I get 1, but I absolutely have 1 of each every single day. And I do try to add variety in this as well. So if one day I'm having a clementine, the next day I'll try to have a banana or berries, or I just try to switch it up and get some variety in, because your gut health loves diversity, your hormones love diversity, different fruits, different vegetables have different vitamins and minerals in them, so we want a variety of those to get all of those different nutrients in our diet. So I do aim to do that. It is a non-negotiable. I also love fruit and vegetables, so maybe that is helpful for somebody who doesn't like fruit and vegetables. It's a little bit harder, but just knowing the benefits of fruit and vegetables, I think, outweighs anything. Even if I didn't like fruits or vegetables, I would still try to do that for myself because of the benefits of fruit and vegetables. And also, side note to that, I feel like people who don't love fruits and vegetables don't have them enough. And it's almost like training your body. Like, there are certain things that I used to hate that I now love because I just eat it more. And so the more I eat fruits and vegetables, the more that I enjoy them. And being able to cook them correctly. Like, there's things that you can do to improve the taste and flavor of fruits and vegetables if you're somebody who doesn't like them. But I do love all fruits and vegetables. So that is something I do every single day. I do not skip out on my fruits and vegetables. We need those nutrients in our diet to help with hormone health, help with general health, but specifically your body and your hormones do need different nutrients, and so it's really, really important to get those in. So that's another thing that I do, and bonus points if you can get in variety throughout the week with different sources of fruits and vegetables. So it's kind of like a game for me. I love to see how many different kinds of fruits and vegetables I can have in a week, and I won't say that I have like 6 or 7 different kinds of fruits and vegetables every single week. I typically stick to like 2 to 4 different kinds, but it is fun to kind of get in a variety of each, and also I know that it's benefiting my health. So that's another non-negotiable for my daily habits that I do. So those are 5 daily ones that I do every single day that help with general health, but also my hormonal health as well. And now some weekly things that I do. So number 1 is grocery shop. I am human. So sometimes I have, a busy week with work, and then I have a lot of events on the weekend and I don't get to the grocery store. If I don't get to the grocery store, like, I'm starting Monday as the start of the week. If I go Monday through Sunday and I don't get to the grocery store, that next Monday I am going to the grocery store. This is to make sure I'm stocked up on things. 1, get different fruits and vegetables. 2, just make sure I have food in the house, so that I'm not skipping meals, because remember, skipping meals does disrupt your blood sugar balance, and also you want to be eating enough to support hormonal health. So it's really important that I don't skip out on meals. So obviously I want to be making sure that I am stocked up, ready to go on those, and also making sure that I have variety in foods to get variety in my diet. So that's really important. Just making sure that I have things available for me so that I'm prepared for the week and I have good nutrients. Also, when I feel like when I don't go grocery shopping, if I do miss a week, then I'm like, oh my god, I didn't go grocery shopping this weekend, I need to go. I feel like I tend to gravitate more towards those processed foods and things that are quick and easy, and maybe eating out more, and it's just I don't love to do that. So I want to make sure that I'm stocked up and prepared so that I have food at home during the week. So that's a non-negotiable weekly for me. Second thing I do is rest. Also a non-negotiable for me. Like I said, I go to the gym 4 days a week. 4 days a week, I'm at the gym. And then I will do a cardio session. Right now, currently in my routine, I'm doing 2 cardio sessions a week. So with that, one of those cardio sessions is on a lifting day, and the other one is either on a lifting day or by itself. So I'll have 4 gym days and then potentially 1 cardio day if I didn't get to it on a lifting day. But that gives me, 2 to 3 rest days every single week. And I absolutely love my rest days. It is the best. I used to hate rest days. So if you're listening to this and you get anxious or nervous about having a rest day, do it more often. I am telling you, it is the best thing. I have been doing 4 days a week at the gym for, I want to say 2 years now, and I don't think I'll go back. Like, I love it. One, I push so much harder and I get so much more out of my lifts when I go because I am rested and recovered and like ready to hit the gym when I do go. And also, it helps me with stress. It helps my body recover. It helps with like just chilling out. We don't want to always be training. It's really important for our bodies to rest. And I also just like make it a day for myself. Like the days that I rest, I get up, I do my skincare, I like have extra time to take a shower if I need to, I make my morning latte. Like it's just like really, really nice. And even on rest days too, it doesn't mean that I'm sitting on the couch all day. I will still try to get out for a walk. I will still try to get in some movement. It's just not going to the gym. But this is super, super beneficial for overall health and especially hormone health. If you are overtraining, you're doing your body a disservice and you are negatively impacting your hormones. You need to have rest. For those, again, who are stressed or nervous or anxious about rest days, just try it. Still have your gym sessions. Like, I want you to still weight train. I want you to still do what you need to do. But make sure you're having, like, at absolute minimum, 1 rest day. And I always suggest having, like, 2 rest days at minimum. But it's funny because, like, for example, I had a client who was going through this and she was getting a little bit weird about more rest days. She was so used to going to the gym like 6 days a week, and I was forcing her to take more rest days because she needed it because hormones. She didn't have a period, and she was like, I don't know, like rest days feel weird. I don't really like taking rest days. And I was like, have your rest days be something that you love. Reward yourself on your rest day. She likes going for a walk, so I was like, go for a longer walk in the morning. Have a coffee, bring your coffee with you if you want to. Like, make a morning routine for yourself instead of going to the gym on your rest day. And she started doing that. She's like, I absolutely love my rest days now. It is so great to have rest days, but I also kind of like romanticize my rest days. Like, I love to have a good morning routine when I'm not going to the gym in the morning. So if you're nervous or anxious, maybe do something in place of that rest day that you really enjoy. Maybe that's reading, going for a walk, whatever that looks like. But kind of romanticize it if you are nervous about it because it makes them that much better. But that is a non-negotiable for me. I have 2 to 3 rest days every single week. I also do like to clean my space on a weekly basis. I need to have a cleaning day. This is one for stress management, which does help with your hormones, and also just organization. When I have a clean space, I feel better in myself. And again, I guess that goes back to stress and anxiety, but I feel so much better in myself when I have a clean space and it's decluttered and all the things are wiped down, like all the counters are wiped down and it's just like really neat and clean. I work so much better in that. I feel so much less stressed in that. My body is calm. Like, it's just great. And I think that that definitely does impact my general health and my hormonal health, more in the sense of stress relief, but also just organization and getting things done and being productive. Like, it just overall helps my whole general health. So that is something that is a non-negotiable for me. I need to clean at least once a week. And last thing that I'll say that I do weekly is a lymphatic drainage. I do this in a couple different ways. So one is gua sha. Gua sha is great for lymphatic drainage of like the face neck area. So I do that on a weekly basis. I probably gua sha like 3 to 4 times a week, I would say. It just helps with overall puffiness inflammation and lymphatic drainage. Is exactly as it sounds. So I try to do that a couple times a week. You can also do lymphatic drainage massage, which I give to myself sometimes, just like for overall gut support, digestion, really great for digestion and gut health, and bowel movements as well. And liver detox, lymphatic drainage massages are great for all of those things. And then another way that you can do lymphatic drainage, which I actually haven't done in a while, is dry brushing. That helps with lymphatic drainage, and again, that helps reduce inflammation, helps with liver detox, all the things just to kind of help your body, which all of these things do help hormone health. Liver detox is great for hormone health.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Health Club with Julia podcast. If you loved the episode, share the podcast and tag me, and subscribe so you don't miss any further episodes. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a DM. Thanks for being a part of the club. See you next time.